My best friend went from rags to being a top-tier tycoon and rushed to drag me away with teary eyes. Marry my son, and you'll live in luxury. I hesitantly became a billionaire's wife. Just as I was enjoying it, my CEO husband brought his first love home to dump me. My bestie threw down a share transfer form. Take it and leave my son. I laughed with joy, grabbed my bags, and ran. Being a rich wife is nothing compared to owning shares. Waking up, my whole body felt sore, especially my waist, as if I'd been run over by a car. I rubbed my eyes. Just as I tried to turn over, I realized someone was lying beside me. Nyan. I froze for a moment. Memories of last night flashed in my mind. He came back stumbling drunk, his eyes red and swollen. The moment he entered, he pinned me against the wall and said in a raspy voice, "Don't leave me." Then came scenes not fit for minors. Married for a year, and he hadn't even touched me once. I knew Chin-Yan had always been avoiding me, loathing that I was the wife his mother picked out. I blushed, quickly pulled back the covers to get out of bed. Just as I moved, he woke up, gave me a cold stare, then frowned. "Why are you still here?" I was stunned, and a wave of anger surged through me. "Chin-Yan, what's that supposed to mean? You were the one who started it last night." "I was drunk last night," he interrupted me impatiently. "Don't get any ideas." I was so angry I almost laughed out loud. "I shouldn't get ideas? That's not what you said last night. You kept calling me darling." "Enough." "So you're saying, you call me dear constantly." "Enough." He suddenly sat up, looking at me with a sharp gaze. "Shujixia, let's act like nothing happened last night. You'd better forget it too." My eyes widened, and my heart felt a pang of bitterness. This is the man I've been married to for a year, tossing me aside as soon as he got what he wanted. I was furious, so I started rummaging around the room. Half an hour later, I hurriedly dragged out a suitcase. He didn't even dare look me in the eye, holding his forehead with a wry smile. "Are you going to my mom's again?" I cold laugh. "What else? Stay here and watch your act?" A year ago, I was braving the elements, working like a dog as a delivery driver. Then one day, as I was eating a cheap meal by the road, I suddenly saw a woman in designer clothes step out of a Rolls-Royce. It turns out she was my once poor best friend, now inhabiting the body of a top-tier billionaire. The moment our eyes met, we both burst into tears in the street. She wiped her tears while patting my back. Stop crying, stop crying. How about this, Jixia? Marry my son, and then we can be together forever." I asked while sobbing. "Your son is he handsome?" She rolled her eyes. "Does it matter if he's handsome? The point is, we'll see each other every day." I thought about it, felt she made a lot of sense, and slapped my thigh with confidence. "Fine. For you, I'm willing to marry him, even as a second wife." The moment I walked in, I rushed into my sweet mother-in-law's arms. "Wan-Q, I just can't take this life anymore." She looked at me with pure concern. "What's the matter?" She looked at me with such pity. "What's wrong? Did that brat Chin-Yan bully you again?" After I told her everything, she slapped the mattress in anger. "That son of mine is useless," she said through gritted teeth. "I'll cut off his black card tomorrow, see if he can still be so arrogant." Hearing those words, I felt satisfied. "Really? Why don't you take his sports car too?" She looked at me like I was a disappointment. "Look at you being so petty." After 3 days at my best friend's mother-in-law's house, she finally talked me into going home. The reason was she couldn't keep up with me staying up late every night, as her health couldn't take it anymore. Just as I arrived at the compound gate, a sudden barking broke the silence. The moment I turned around, a golden retriever charged at me. I instinctively took a step back. It collapsed heavily at my feet, letting out a mournful wail. "Akai!" Ellie's piercing cry came from behind me. Before I could react, she lunged towards the dog. "Why did you kick it? It's just a dog." I was stunned. "I didn't. I know you don't like me, but why hurt a dog? What did it ever do to you?" Chin-Yan rushed over after hearing the noise, seeing Ellie crying while holding the dying dog. "Shujisa, how could you?" Chin-Yan frowned. "This dog is such a drama queen. I didn't even touch it." I explained urgently. "I didn't kick it, it fell on its own." "Enough!" Chin-Yan interrupted me. "I saw you bump into it while you were walking. Even if you don't like Ellie, you shouldn't take it out on Even if you dislike Ellie, you shouldn't take it out on an innocent dog." I almost laughed in frustration. "Chin-Yan, are you completely blind to the truth?" After heart-to-hearts with my best friend, I knew Ellie had schemed endlessly to become the young mistress. Last month she suddenly returned to the country, and Chin-Yan arranged for her to live in our neighborhood. As Ellie continued to sob, I shrugged my shoulders. "Check the cameras. The facts are right there." Chin-Yan looked at me coldly. "Since when did you become so cold-hearted?" Just then, the vet rushed in. After a careful examination, he frowned. It looked like the dog was drugged. The air seemed to freeze. I snapped my eyes toward Ellie. Her face turned pale instantly. Chin-Yan's shock turned into guilt. "I didn't do it." Before I could finish, Chin-Yan raised his hand and slapped me hard across the face. "Enough. If you could hurt an animal, you don't deserve to be the Chin family's mistress." I clutched my burning cheek. "For her? For a dog? You hit me? You think I care about this title? If you love her so much, then marry her. And you?" I turned to Ellie and slapped her right back. Stop being the victim. You think I don't know what you're planning? You came back to steal Chin Yan, didn't you? Drugging your own dog just to frame me? That's really vicious. Ellie, white as a ghost, her lips trembling. You, how could you accuse me like this? How could you wrong me like this? How could I ever hurt a Kai? I've raised it since it was a baby. When will you stop making a scene? Ellie isn't that kind of person. Stop slandering her. I was so angry I could have spit blood, turned to leave. I only had one thought. Go complain to my best friend. She was sitting on the sofa, clutching a bag of chips, mumbling while eating. This life is just unbearable. You're all lying scum. Did you get into a fight too? I frowned with a confused look. It took me a while to realize what happened. It said when my father-in-law, Qin Zhaochuan, returned. As soon as he entered, he was blunt. I'm going abroad to work for 6 months. The company has already made the arrangements. 6 months? My friend Wang Qiu frowned. At your age, why are you still doing this? Can't you just leave the company to Qin Yan? This project is very important. I must go in person. Qin Zhaochuan remained firm. Old Qin, are you hiding something from us? Qin Zhaochuan grew impatient. What could I possibly hide? Stop overthinking, I scoffed inwardly after hearing this. An important project? He just wanted to go abroad to take care of his pathetic first love. She widened her eyes. How did you know? Qin Yan told me a few days ago, and told me never to tell you. Fine then, this father and son duo, they are great actors. Abandoning the family all for a first love. Impressive. After laying it all out, we looked at each other and fell into a long silence. I looked at her, feeling a wave of bitterness. I know, a wave of bitterness hit my heart. I know, though she looks tough on the outside, she's hurting more than anyone inside. After all, he is her husband, I asked softly. To be honest, I want a divorce. Wang Qiu's eyes widened, she slapped her leg. If you divorce, so will I. Fine, let's both do it together. We agreed instantly. She suddenly thought of something. Actually, you go a day later, so it's easier to get appointments. The doorbell rang. Before I could even confront Alice, there she was, at my front door, with Qin Yan carrying bags behind her. Mom, Alice is back from abroad and wanted to see you. Wan Tu was already furious and snapped. The guests enough? Why bring a trophy along? Nice job, spoken like my best girl. 10 out of 10. Others might think she's your wife. I add fuel to the fire, and Qin Yan's face darkened. He glared at me and set the gifts down. Mom, Alice picked out these supplements for you herself. Wan Tu just played with my fingers and ignored him. Alice's face instantly turned awkward, her voice sounding fragile. Auntie, I handpicked these abroad. They're great for skin and health. Handpicked? Wan Tu raised an eyebrow. If you'd put more effort into poisoning me, wouldn't this old woman be gone sooner? Wouldn't that suit you? My stomach hurt from trying not to laugh. No one is more sharp-tongued than her. Qin Yan's expression turned cold. Mom, things suddenly turned dark. Mom, Ellie came all the way to see you, so that was uncalled for. Tears streamed down faster and faster from Ellie, her voice trembling. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have come. I'll leave right now. With that, she turned to go. Seeing this, Qin Yan rushed after her, glaring at me before leaving. The moment the door shut, Wan Qiu and I sighed in relief. Wan Qiu asked me with a grin. So, sweetie, was Mom's acting perfect? I gave 2 thumbs up, praising her sincerely. Oscar-worthy, you're at the Oscars Golden Horse Awards level? Really amazing. She tilted her chin up proudly, then leaned in to whisper. Let's hit a luxury club later, and hang out with some male models. I nodded, calculating in my head that after the divorce, I could see 8 or 10 guys easily. To my surprise, Qin Yan stayed away for 3 days, leaving me no chance to ask for a divorce, as he had already blocked my number. I was shocked. He still has money after his card was cut? Wan Qiu brought desserts to my place. He hasn't come home yet? I shook my head. Well, Ellie is tougher than I thought. Wan Qiu snorted coldly. Tough? She's just mastered playing the victim. My son, Qin Yan, is truly blind to be so obsessed with her. Since he won't come to me, I will go to him. I finally understood. 30 minutes later, Wan Qiu and I were at Ellie's flower shop. Inside, there were people. It's quiet in the flower shop, with a few customers browsing peacefully. We storm in with bodyguards and start clearing them out. Today, I'm going to teach this shameless witch a lesson. Voice echoes through the shop. Everyone else, out now. If you get caught in the crossfire, it's not on me. As soon as I finish speaking, the customers flee as fast as they can, leaving the staff staring at each other in shock. Ellie walks out from the back of the shop. Sister Jisha, what are you doing here? And why is Auntie with you? I took a seat and leaned back. Am I not welcome? Ellie blinks with fake innocence. How could you say that? I just didn't expect you'd look for me this way. Is it because Qin Yan hasn't been home lately, and it's bothering you? Staring at her fake face, I step forward and slap her across the face. Slap! The sound echoes in the shop. Consider that payback for the slap from Qin Yan. Ellie covers her face, still acting the part of the pitiful victim. You, how could you hit me? Ellie, stop acting so innocent. You think I don't know what you're up to? Making Qin Yan pay your bills and back you up, staying out all night. You think that'll force me to divorce? I keep cornering her. Let me tell you, Ellie, your little games mean nothing to me. If you have the guts, get Qin Yan to divorce me. Otherwise, you'll always just be the mistress lurking in the shadows. Sister Jiksha, you've got it all wrong. Qin Yan and I are just friends. I never thought of breaking. I never planned to ruin your marriage. My friend? I sneered, grabbed a club nearby and smashed the flower stand. With a loud crash, the flower stand collapsed, sending flower pots shattering everywhere. Ellie backed away in shock, her face pale with fear. What are you doing? What am I doing? I gave a cold laugh. Since you love playing the victim, I'll give you something to cry about. With that, I signaled the bodyguards to act. Sound of breaking glass, collapsing flower stands, Ellie's screams, mixed together. Just then, Qin Yan rushed in out of breath, followed by several security guards. Shuzisha, what are you doing? Qin Yan roared. I turned my head and looked at him coldly. What am I doing? Can't you see? I'm helping you clear out the trash. Qin Yan clenched his fists tightly. You're insane. This is Ellie's flower shop. How could you? I'm insane. I sneered, eyes full of mockery. Qin Yan, you're the one who's crazy. For this woman, you stopped coming home and abandoned your wife. Right, do you have to call me crazy? I'm warning you, it's being so unreasonable. Ellie is innocent. This only makes me hate you more. Who are you trying to warn? My best friend stepped out from behind me. Wang Qiu stared at him sharply and asked clearly, It sounds like you're dead set on a divorce to marry this little witch. Qin Yan said nothing. So you love Ellie so much? As your mother, I won't force you. I won't force you anymore. Wang Qiu glanced at me quietly, pulled out a stock transfer document from her bag, shoved it firmly into my hand, and spoke with feigned disappointment. Jixia, take this. This is for 30% of the shares in Shen Group. Starting today, you're a shareholder of the Shen Group. Now, leave my son. I choked out a response. Fine. Seeing this, Qin Yan fumed with absolute rage. He lunged forward, reaching out to snatch it. Mom, are you crazy? This is the Shen family's property. How can you just give it to an outsider? Wang Qiu sidestepped him, blocked him from me, and slapped Qin Yan across the face. The smack resonated through the air, and the entire garden went silent. An outsider? She sneered. Jiksha is my daughter-in-law. How is she an outsider? But you, abandoning your home for a mistress, have the nerve to talk to me about outsiders? Clutching his face, Qin Yan was speechless. He turned to me, pleading with his eyes. Jiksha, let's go home and talk properly, okay? I let out a cold laugh, waving the share certificate. Too late. Standing to the side, Alice sobbed weakly. Qin Yan, don't with Sister Jixia over me. I just leave? Alice, it's not your fault. Broken, Qin Yan reached out to pull her close. Shut up. I cut her off sharply. Qin Yan, don't you want a divorce? Fine, I'll grant your wish. But these 30% of the equity, don't even dream of taking a cent. Qin Yan's gaze instantly turns menacing. He grabs my wrist tightly, his grip so strong it almost crushes my bones. Shu Jixia, don't go too far. The equity of the Shen Group isn't for you to decide. Let her go. Wan Qiu shouts sternly, as the bodyguards behind step forward and shove Qin Yan away. Qin Yan, let me tell you, the Shen Group is the empire I built from scratch, and I'll give it to whoever I want. If you dare touch one hair on Jixia's head again, watch me give her the remaining shares too. Mom, let's go. I don't want to stay here for a single minute longer. 3 days later, Qin Yan's lawyer arrives, demanding the division of marital property. I give him 5% of the shares due to his infidelity, though so painful I can't sleep for 3 nights. So here I am at the city's fanciest restaurant, eating a seafood feast to vent my frustration. As I pick up a plump lobster, I spot Qin Zhaochuan at the next table. A woman is with him, feeding a boy about 5 or 6 years old. I quickly nudge Wang Qiu's arm. It's your turn, time to get a divorce. Wang Qiu is buried in a crab, not even looking up. My turn for what? The divorce can wait until I finish this meal. Helpless, I signal toward the next table. Look who's there. Wang Qiu follows my gaze. Heh. The woman. Qin Zhaochuan clearly sees us too, his face instantly turning awkward as he forces himself to look our way. His face fell instantly as he forced himself to approach, trying to explain. Wan Qiu, what a coincidence. That's a friend of mine. She's sick. She came here for treatment. I sneered in my head. I'd ever believe that. Wan Qiu nodded. Old Qin, aren't you impressive? Not only do you take care of her, but you also care for her son. How truly warm-hearted of you. Sweat beaded on Qin Zhaochuan's forehead. Wang Qiu, listen to me. Wang Qiu waved him off, No need to explain. I get it. Weren't you supposed to work abroad for 6 months? Since when is your office a restaurant? Left speechless, Qin Zhaochuan stood there awkwardly. The moment they got home, Wang Qiu sneered, pulling a file from her bag. This is the divorce agreement. I've already signed it. Sign it, and you're free. Live with whoever you want. Just stop bothering me. Wang Qiu, what does this mean? We've been married for years. How can you bring up divorce so easily? Wang Qiu, hearing this, almost laughed out loud. Oh, Qin Zhaochuan, you're just a live-in husband. What shares do you have? Shen Group belongs to Shen, Not the Qin family. Have you been abroad so long that you've lost your mind? Qin Zhaochuan was shocked. I signed an agreement back then. A piece of Shen Group is mine. Wang Qiu scoffed, slowly pulling a document from her bag, and waved it. The agreement? You mean this one? Sorry to say, I ripped it up ages ago. Now, you're nothing more than a temporary worker. Now, you're at most a temp, lesser than a regular staffer, and you want shares? Dream on. Qin Zhaochuan turned green with rage. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. You're truly a savage in battle. Wang Qiu raised her chin proudly. Of course, dealing with scum, you have to be ruthless. Since we were both single again, we planned to travel the world and start our glamorous rich life. I spent my days at every dance club, eyeing guys with six-pack abs to keep up my mood. But if you play with fire, you're bound to get burned. I shook the 3 pregnancy tests. Those double lines were blindingly clear, and I knew I was in trouble. While I was staring at them in a daze, Wang Qiu barged into the room. Hey babe, a new club is opening tomorrow, and I heard some hot guys will be there. Let's go have some fun. I handed her the pregnancy test blankly. She took a look, and her eyes widened in shock. Whose is it? Is it Qin Yan's? I shook my head. I have no idea whose it is. What do you mean you don't know? You've really messed up this time. My heart sank. What should I do? What should you do? Go through with it. Since I'm too old to have kids now, having this baby would give me a grandchild. I rolled my eyes at her. Wang Qiu leaned in mischievously. How about this? I'll give you $500 million, and you have the baby. What do you say? I stroked my chin, pretending to be in deep thought. Well, $500 million, sounds like a pretty good deal. That sounds pretty good. Wang Qiu immediately clapped their hands. It's a deal. From this day on you're my precious mom-to-be. I'll support you, and you'll handle having the baby. The next day, Wang Qiu held me down on the exam bed, and the doctor suddenly uttered a confused sound. The growth rate doesn't match. The doctor adjusted his glasses. This is at least 3 months. 3 months? I counted the days on my fingers, then it can't be Qin Yan's baby. Wang Qiu suddenly whipped out a phone to check the calendar. Wait. 3 months ago you went to Nightfall Bar for the party. After blacking out, you grabbed a model insisting on teaching him pole dancing. The exam room door slammed open, and a man with deep features zoomed in. Is the party Miss Shen mentioned this one? The phone screen clearly showed club security footage. The drunk version of me tied a tie around the man's neck and boldly announced, "You're mine tonight." And the man I forced into the role was the Gu Group CEO, Gu Fan. That night, you ruined my couture with vomit, took my Prada, saved me as 8-pack tool, and blocked me. Gu Fan sneered. Now it's time to pay the price. Wang Qiu suddenly pulled out a calculator. Wait, $500 million for child support. If we convert that to partnerships, Gu yields 3% of the project, and the Gu family keeps the baby. Gu Fan interrupted. Name your terms, I said glee. Think you're grocery shopping? Do you think this is some common market? Do you think I need your petty money? Gu Fan slowly pulled a business card from his pocket and held it out to me. I'll give you 3 days to think it over. That, turned and left, leaving me and Wang Qiu staring at each other. We're finished. What are we going to do now? Wang Qiu stomped their feet in panic. Gu is not to be messed with. The company has been public for ages. After we both agreed, the plan is to run for it. They won't find us if we flee the country. As Wang Qiu and I prepared to disappear, the Qin family and his crew blocked us at the airport. Alice stood at the front, her eyes turning red. Auntie, Sister Jiksha, I know you don't like me, but I'm carrying Qin Yan's baby. The child is innocent. I froze for a second, then laughed in frustration. Qin Yan, you're something else, getting someone pregnant now. It's not like we're stopping you from marrying. Qin Yan turned pale and looked down. I understood then, already guessing most of it. He must have squandered the $10, and now he's using the baby to save himself. Qin Zhaochuan stepped out from behind. Actually, Alice is the daughter of my first love. The whole room went silent. Alice is his daughter with his first love? My eye widened, and almost dropped my milk tea. Qin Zhaochuan cleared his throat and continued. So, if you want the baby, give me $100 million. We still didn't believe it, watching the performance, until Qin Zhaochuan remained composed, pulled a document from his suit pocket, and handed it to Wang Qiu like this. He pulled a file from his suit pocket and handed it to Wang Qiu. This is the paternity test report. See for yourself. Wang Qiu took the file and glanced at it. I leaned in to look, and the report clearly stated, paternity relationship established. It was my turn to be stunned. How is this possible? Jian was also completely dazed. What's going on? I sneered and patted his shoulder. Qin Yan, congratulations! Star-crossed lovers turned siblings. You almost married your own sister. After hearing that, Qin Yan knelt before Wang Qiu. Mom, I'm begging you, save the child. This is your grandchild. Wang Qiu sneered and kicked him away. You useless thing! Qin Yan was scolded mercilessly, his face turning pale and red with shame. Wang Qiu, don't forget, Ellie is my daughter and also your stepdaughter. If this gets out, how do you think the media will write it? Elite family secret. Son falls for stepsister. A real blockbuster headline, right? So, you want to use this secret to blackmail us? $100 million. I was seething with rage. Just as I was about to retort, Wonchu suddenly smiled. She slowly pulled out a photo on her phone and waved it. Qin Zhaochuan, did you forget you still have a son? Qin Zhaochuan froze. What do you mean? Wonqiu sneered. You think I don't know? He just turned 5. Tell me, if I leak this news, which one would the media care about more? Qin Zhaochuan's face instantly turned livid. He clenched his fists, turning pale, fists clenching and cracking. Shen Wonqiu, don't go too far. Too far? Wonqiu raised an eyebrow. Compared to the filthy things you've done, this is nothing. I couldn't help but give Wonqiu a silent thumbs up in the corner, feeling totally smug inside. Seeing them get humiliated felt absolutely amazing. I wasn't going to say anything. But honestly, a Chuan isn't my biological child. I adopted them from an orphanage. I wanted to raise an heir for the Shen group, but they turned out to be a failure. Now it was the other 3 who were stunned. So, this isn't my grandchild either. Have as many kids as you want. Qin Yan collapsed onto the floor, falling from heaven to hell in an instant. Wonqiu checked their watch, sounding relaxed. Stop wasting time here. Our flight is about to take off. Let's go. I nodded, taking Wonqiu's arm. Just as we were boarding, my phone rang. It was Gu Fan calling. I have no idea how he got my number. I hung up, but he called again. The ticket agent was rushing us. I had no choice but to answer. Hello? Shu Jixia, you're actually trying to run? His voice on the other end was full of rage. I felt a bit nervous. Gu Fan, what's it to you? I'm free to go wherever I want. After saying that, I felt a chill down my spine. I felt a strange gaze on me. Sure enough, the moment my eyes met Gu Fan's, I nearly dropped my phone. Holy crap! Startled, I immediately hung up the phone and pulled Wonqiu toward the gate. Hurry, let's go! Ha ha ha! Haha, that boy Gu Fan looks absolutely miserable right now. As the plane took off as planned, I breathed a sigh of relief. Wonqiu leaned back, wearing a mischievous grin. Do you think Gu Fan will buy a jet just to chase us? I rolled my eyes. He's rich but not stupid. A flight attendant suddenly walked over and handed us a note. I opened it to see the words inside. You think you won? The game has just begun, Qin Zhaochuan. Wonqiu and I locked eyes, sharing the same sinking feeling. I looked up at the flight attendant, about to ask who sent the note, but she had already walked away. We're doomed. I gripped the note, chilled to the bone. Is this entire plane filled with Qin Zhaochuan's people? Just then, the plane shook violently. The cabin fell into chaos. An hour later, we were forced to land on a deserted island. The moment the doors opened, men in black rushed in armed with weapons, scanning the passengers. Take them both, the leader barked. Wonqiu and I looked at each other, knowing well that resisting would only make it worse. We've been taken. Damn it. I could only stand up obediently and follow them off the plane. We were led deep into the island. What does Qin Zhaochuan want? I whispered to Wonqiu. Wonqiu sneered. What else? If I'm gone, she gets the Shen family fortune. My heart sank. I feel full of regret. If I'd known, I wouldn't have been so impulsive, and tried to run away. Wonqiu remained calm and said, What are you afraid of? We'll handle whatever comes our way. Besides, no matter how cruel that old fox Qin Zhaochuan is, he wouldn't dare actually take us out. At most, he's just trying to scare us into signing some property transfer agreement. Because of the time difference, domestic news was still reporting that we're gone. People online either pity us or want to punish the Qin family. It's been 3 days, and Wonqiu and I are living like savages on this island. No satellite has spotted our SOS yet. Just as the mental pressure was starting to wear us down, the roar of a helicopter came from outside. I woke up Wonqiu, who was sleeping nearby. Wonqiu, listen, is someone coming to save us? She hid behind me. It's not some wild tiger, is it? Immediately after, the door was kicked open, and Gu Fan rushed in with a team. Gu Fan, I shouted in surprise. Gu Fan glanced at us, a look of heartache flashing in his eyes. Gu Fan walked quickly to me, crouched down, and said, Are you all right? I shook my head. How did you find us? He touched his nose and stammered for a moment before saying, I broke Qin Zhaochuan's legs. Wonqiu nudged me from the side. All right, that's enough. Stop being so sappy and let's get out of this hellhole. Gu Fan stood up and carried me out in his arms. Just as we left the wooden hut, several SUVs raced toward us. A group of people jumped out, led by someone limping along. Qin Zhaochuan was limping along. Gu Fan, you actually showed up, Qin Zhaochuan said with a cold sneer. Qin Zhaochuan, you're asking for it. Gu Fan, you ruined my life here, now you're going to pay. Those words, he pulled a weapon on Gu Fan. Police cars screeched onto the scene, sending Qin Zhaochuan and his group. Qin Zhaochuan, you're suspected of abduction and extortion, you're under arrest. An officer stepped forward and spoke coldly. Qin Zhaochuan turned pale, unable to resist. Gu Fan, thank you. Gu Fan ruffled my hair. Don't mention it. I'm the father of the child. It's only right, isn't it? Wonqiu couldn't help but chime in. All right, enough. Stop public displays of affection and let's go home. Back in the city, our lives finally returned to peace. except for Gu Fan being a total nag, constantly fussing over me. Gu Fan moved into our villa, under the pretext of caring for a pregnant woman. Wan Chu complained out loud, but was actually happy deep down. After all, it was good to have a handy man around. Gu Fan, you watching me eat? I'm not 3 years old. I looked at him, feeling helpless. Gu Fan raised an eyebrow. No, you're eating for 2 now. I need to ensure balanced nutrition. One night, the 3 of us were in the living room. Once baby is born, let's raise him together, I suggested. Wang Qiu nodded. I'm in. It's not like I'm busy anyway. Gu Fan frowned slightly. Nay, did you both forget that I am the baby's father? I rolled my eyes at him. What? Do you want him all to yourself? Gu Fan gave a helpless smile. Fine, fine, you're the bosses. By the way, we need to give the baby a name. I stroked my belly. Any ideas? Gu Fan thought for a moment. If it's a boy, let's call him Gu Chen. It means the stars and the sea. Wan Chu shook his head. Too ordinary. How about Shen Chuxia? Combines my Q, Jixia's Kia. So unique. That name is a bit too casual, don't you think? I sighed helplessly. Alright, whatever makes you happy. A few months later, the baby was born safely. It was a boy. In the end, we decided to name him Su Xiaochen. After all, Gu Qiuxia was a bit too strange of a name. Wang Qiu held the baby all day and wouldn't let go, while Gu Fan was in charge of changing diapers and feeding, keeping himself busy, and me, I spent every day eating and sleeping. One day, Gu Fan suddenly asked me, Jixia, do you regret it? I was taken aback. Regret what? Regret pulling me away from that bar back then. I blinked my eyes, teasing him on purpose. Actually, it was intentional. So you had your eye on me the whole time? Of course, otherwise you think I'd just drag a stranger to teach pole dancing? Wang Qiu walked out of the room holding Gu Chen, and seeing us all lovey-dovey, he couldn't help but roll his eyes. Enough already, stop being so mushy, get over here and help change this diaper.